Tyler, how's it going, man?
Brock, it's amazing to be here, man. I'm stoked. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so today I wanted to share just kind of with our viewers, our people out there watching our videos here, our experience with our current brokerage, eXp Realty. I know you've been with eXp for a number of years. I'm about to hit 4 years with the brokerage, which is astonishing to hear because time is really flying by. And so I know we both had some similar experiences. We both had different experiences, and I just want to share those with the folks out there.
Okay.
Just to let them have our perspective of what our experience has been so far.
Dude, I could talk all day about this, but
yeah. So I mean, I guess if you wanted to share a little bit of more of like your background before eXp, like I know you were at another brokerage before, so if you wanted to share a little bit about that experience and how it's the same or different at eXp Realty.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I'm going to share something in this video I've never shared before, because usually I'm very, like, I encourage people to look at their options, right? I'm the last person who's going to tell you, hey, you need to be here. And sometimes I think like maybe I'm a little too fair in that regards, come to think of it, because thinking back on a lot of scenarios, I think it's easy for some of the key information to get lost when I'm like, oh yeah, well, there's a lot of great options, this, that, the other. So as I say what I'm going to say, I want to make one thing clear. First and foremost, I'm not here. I mean, this is my personal experience. I think Brock's going to share his experience and perspective in the industry for me having been in it 9 years. But also too, I mean, I firmly believe if there was something better than where I'm at now, I'm not closed-minded to looking at it. And so with that, I think maybe there's some times I could do a better job of telling people, especially if they lack the same experience and perspective I do, what the real scenario is if you're looking at what we have here versus some of the other most common options in the industry. So I guess I'm saying it's like maybe I should be a little less fair in the assessment in terms of like, hey, yeah, well, they're like, just because someone says they have the best training doesn't mean they have the best training. That's what they're telling you they have. And so again, like I think maybe I've let some of the other messages be a little too loud when I could really just put my foot down and tell you, well, hey, here's what you're actually going to find. Here's the reality of the situation. That's what I'm going to do more of here in this video that I haven't necessarily done before. And
I love it. Yeah.
So my background, man, 4 years, like, dude,
yeah.
you're about to get to a point where you meet people at conventions that just joined us yesterday.
I know.
And like, you're getting close to the point where they're gonna be like, wow, you've been here 4 years. Like, cause that started happening to me like 5 years in, like people, like, it's like their mind was blown, like, wow, you don't even look like a dinosaur, but wow, you're a pioneer, you're an innovator. That's like what's gonna happen. And dude, I'm really about to age myself because I've been here 7.5 going on 8 years. Shoot. But so I started in real estate July 2015, got my license, got to work. I looked at the playing field. I interviewed 2 major franchises as well as 2 local independents. And a lot of people go with someone they know. I found this, because now today I, train, mentor. I have a team of agents spanning the country. Brock's one of my top performing agents on the team. And what I found though is most people go with the broker that they have a relationship with going into the industry. It turns out I had a relationship with more than one broker going into the industry because 2 of my friends' dads, who I saw on a very regular basis, very good friends of mine, they were real estate brokers, both independent local brokers. And so of course I interviewed them. Most people would have probably just gone with, I mean, what do you, like, legit question. So most people go with like the person they know. What if you know 2 brokers getting into the industry? What if you have 2 friends' dads who are brokers, and what if they're both like really good guys? Like,
what a conundrum.
You can't go with both. Like what do you actually do? But that was actually the scenario. And I wanted to go with both of them, honestly. Like, I liked both of them, but you can't be affiliated with 2 different brokers. And so my mentor kind of put a thought on my mind, well, hey, you got to go look at your options. You got to go interview. And so I picked a couple more companies to interview. I thought I got to have some compare and contrast. And I quickly realized interviewing the franchises versus the independents, I'm like, these franchises have a lot more support and resources to help someone new like myself. Like, so this other scenario, I'm basically going to depend on the broker and, basically my friend's dad and what he's willing to do day to day, which I really felt they wanted to help. But that versus having a system and team, like, and people that are, like, this is really set up to take on someone new. And then of those 2 options, there was one in particular that it was very clear they had a lot more set up in the way of help and resources, particularly training. I mean, one of the options, it wasn't really clear what the training was and to what extent I would actually have help with that. And then the other one, they had this whole curriculum, and they emphasized how good it was, and I bought into that belief. And so I went with it, got my start there at KW, the big red company, actually the biggest office in my local market. And I was there, I got my first couple deals closed there for 8 months. Then I moved to a local independent broker that allowed me to keep a vast majority of all my commission. The reason I moved is, it occurred to me at one point, like, wow, I'm paying so much of my commission to KW, but I'm not even getting value. Like, the whole premise on why I'm here was a training. I finished that in less than a month. Now what do I do? And if I wanted more, they were willing to give me more if I paid them $800 to go attend a 8-week productivity class. And or I could get signed up with their productivity coaching and forgo some more of my commission to do that. And I just every option seems like, okay, if I can get more training, if I forgo more of my commission, and I didn't really feel like that was the path that I wanted to be on, so I didn't really pursue it. And I found someone, a very knowledgeable local independent broker, had a great brokerage, and allowed me to keep a vast majority of my check. And I figured, I've learned a lot of what I need to know up to this point. I don't really feel like I need the broker's help as much. This makes sense. So I went with it. I was there. I was super happy. Then I learned eXp Realty existed about 8 months after that. And by then I was closing about a deal a month.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And then I learned about eXp, and I saw a completely different opportunity than anything I had seen up to that point. And for me, it made sense. I saw it instantly. And so I shifted from a situation where I'm keeping like literally 95 to 98% of my commission, like after fees, with the local independent broker, with how it was 100% brokerage. They just had a small transaction fee. But I decided to go back to a more costly model on the surface that provided me a bigger financial opportunity long term. And the best way I could explain that without you really knowing the business model, if you're watching this, is there's a simple concept. Some of you may have heard of it, some of you might not have heard of it up to this point, but it's called the cash flow quadrant. And that was something that Robert Kiyosaki wrote about in Rich Dad Poor Dad. So if people have heard of it, it's likely that's where you heard of it. But what he shows there is, hey, no matter how you earn your money, whether you're working a 9 to 5, whether you're a music recording artist, athlete, or whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or investor, regardless of how you earn your income, it's going to fall into one of 4 categories. And within those 4 categories, you have 2 sides. You have active income, you have passive income. Most people, I've come to find out, myself included, get into real estate because they want more freedom of time and more financial opportunity, usually some combination of both. They don't want someone else dictating their entire working schedule. They want control over it, and they also want to not have a ceiling on what they can go out and earn and produce. And along those same lines, a lot of us want financial freedom. We want a pathway that we can actually achieve it. And the fundamental error that most real estate agents make, both when they get started as well as over the course of their entire career working in real estate, is they never put themselves in a correct position to end up on the right side, which is where the passive income is. They erringly start and stay in a position where all they have is active income. And so again, without understanding the entire business model, the key difference is eXp puts us as real estate agents from day one in a position where we have the opportunity, and not just the opportunity, but the most in the way of the opportunity, to actually build the right side of the cash flow quadrant into our lives, which is where passive income is created, which is where, if you create that, that's where freedom of time, location, being able to do what you want with who you want, when you want, and ultimately have an opportunity to not just have an uncapped earning potential, but to actually build and progress towards financial freedom. eXp had that to offer in their structure, where the previous 100% brokerage I worked with did not, as well as the previous franchise I worked with did not have that to offer.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, it's really amazing when you take a look at our business model, like what we have in place. And backing up a little bit on my experience, is like I've never been with another brokerage. So when I was looking at eXp, I didn't fully understand and have an understanding of what I was getting myself into. I was just like, oh great, this is fantastic. But as I've learned the model, as I've heard about the model being explained almost on a weekly basis and sometimes twice a week, I've really come to appreciate like what we really truly do have. And even just through some of the connections that I've made through you, with you at the events and stuff we go through, just seeing how people have been able to build that passive side of that cash flow quadrant, and seeing that it's truly possible for anyone who actually plugs in and takes this seriously. It's just amazing. So
yeah, and just kind of going back to what I was mentioning earlier, I speak with seasoned agents, new agents, people, like there's a whole spectrum of people in the industry I connect with and collaborate with, people that are day one in the industry all the way up to people that have been brokers for literally 30 plus years within a franchise that we're now running with. And so something that, like, one of the most common things that comes up if you're newer to the industry or even looking at the industry is the idea of training and where to actually go to get your start. And something I've heard time and time again that I don't feel like I've been vocal enough, like I've kind of just let people figure this out on their own, where I should probably just step in and tell them the reality is exactly what I found in my experience, starting with the first franchise I did, which, to be clear, I had a good experience with the company, nothing wrong with my experience, but if I'm comparing and contrasting that to what I have today, it's not even comparable in terms of training. So despite the fact that our company does not beat with the drum that we have the best training in the industry, despite the fact we don't lead with that, the company that does and will tell you they have the best training in the industry, it's not even comparable. Like, to what extent that we have to offer versus, like, they have a month to give you, and if you want more, you can pay them extra for it. We'll freaking throw the kitchen sink at you,
right,
and we'll give you more training than you could possibly ever consume. And honestly, if all you ever did was consume it, you'd be on completely the wrong path, because at some point you got to start implementing what you learn. The point is, they'll give you enough training to take care of your first month, and we'll give you all the training you could ever want, and then some. We'll overwhelm you with training until, we'll start asking you at some point, like, okay, when are you gonna stop sitting in these classes, and when are you gonna actually put this into action? And so, again, goes back to something very simple I said at the get-go. Just because someone tells you something is the best does not mean it's the best. And that's been my personal experience, as well as the experience of many others in the industry. Like, literally, out of all the companies out there, there's one company where it's literally the same exact story with every single person I ever talked to. Everyone I talked to had the same experience I did their first month with the training. And nothing wrong with the training, but the question is, what happens after that first month? What's your support system? What information do you have? And all I'm saying is it's very limited in that particular business model versus what we bring to the table. Because with us, it's truly unlimited. You have unlimited opportunities to learn, to get the help and support you need, all the way down to that local mentorship, and then to collaborate with people like myself and Brock and literally countless of others that, that are behind the scenes, that literally, if me or Brock reach out to, they're there, like, in a moment to help and collaborate and share something they know. And we're talking about top producing agents, top leaders, movers and shakers. And that's not something that existed. And it literally did not exist in the previous structure.
Yeah, and if you, while we're on the topic of training here, if you look at our calendar, our official training calendar published by eXp, we probably have 50 or 60 hours of training per week on the schedule. But outside of that schedule, there's so many agents, there's so many top leaders, top producers within our company that are sharing so much extra training on their own time, and sometimes they're only hosting one a week, but that's an extra hour of training from that one person. And there's just so many people that are sharing all of their knowledge, all of their value with all of the agents within our brokerage. They're not gatekeeping it, they're not keeping it to themselves or just their team. They're sharing it with everyone in our company on a regular basis. And so really, that 50 or 60 hours on the training calendar really turns into 80, 90 hours of training total per week that we have access to from all of these top agents. And one thing I've come to realize is when these, franchises and independent brokers have their training, usually it's from their, top agents within their own office, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really localized from the one person. And even so, another note I've noticed is like they kind of gatekeep some information, and so they don't want to share it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, do they really tell you everything? And honestly, you wouldn't know if you're brand new to it, because you don't know what you don't know. You would have no idea if they're only giving you a piece of the whole picture. You wouldn't even know because you have no context to compare it to. So you're gonna hear what you hear, and it's gonna sound amazing, but they might have just held back that one thing that's actually putting all the opportunity onto their plate, because they don't want you to go and do that and start to take some of their market away from them.
Absolutely. So like those agents at those franchises and local offices, like they kind of gatekeep a little bit. But like at our brokerage, what I've found out is like, not only are we talking to the top producers in our market, but we're also talking to top producers in every market across the United States and even outside of the United States, because we're open in so many countries. So there's so much opportunity to learn from the top agents, literally doing anything you could imagine yourself doing as an agent. And like these people are just opening their playbook and sharing it with you. So it's like, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, and I love it to see that like these agents are sharing the tips and tricks that are working today, because that's another factor too, is like some of these agents that have been in the business for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years, like they're sharing what works 20 years ago, which is a totally different industry and market than we're working with today. So these top agents, they're sharing their knowledge of and best practices of what's happening in today's market to get them the business to help grow their business. So it's just, the training is truly unparalleled.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something where I'm like just 100% clear. You're not missing out on anything by not having that local office to walk into. Like not having that actually opens up the door to more opportunity, because you're not going to learn. There's not a situation within the local office where you're going to have an opportunity to learn from people that aren't competing with you. So think about that. And what's crazy about our industry is there's a lot of situations out there where literally you're competing with your broker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brokerages. If the broker is in production, reality is they're competing with you for like, how's that? What I'm saying is like, you're really in a position where if that's the position you find yourself in, like you've got an uphill battle you're fighting. You've got minimal, if anyone, at your corner, and that's just, it's not the scenario with how we're set up. Even like our brokers aren't competing with our agents. They're literally on the payroll to answer questions from our agents. That's all they do. Yep. They're very passionate about real estate, and for a lot of them, they don't stay in that role forever. You'll see brokers come and go, and like there's a time where they'll serve and do that part, but a lot of them, they're really passionate about real estate. They like the broker role, but they also, there comes a time where, hey, they might do that for 1 or 2 or 3 years, but then they go back to really building out their own business. And, the company's a big advocate for that. And like even all the way up to executive leaders, we've had executive leaders, again, they served and led, and then, it comes a point where, okay, they want to step back and start and focus on building their own business. And I don't really see another place where that happens to the extent it does here. Like, where do you hear of presidents of companies that one day announce that they're stepping back, not to leave or go to a competitor necessarily, but no, to just be an agent, to just build out their business and keep growing it within the fold. And that happens very regularly here amongst people who at one point or another were a leader on the brokerage or even on the executive level.
Another thing I wanted to talk about too is just like one of the biggest pieces of our brokerage, which is collaboration, right? Like we are the first cloud-based brokerage out there, and there's been a lot of copycats, but like one of the things that I think truly sets us apart is the fact that agents from all over our company actually collaborate and talk to each other. So like, yeah, we may not have physical offices that we go into to make calls or meet with clients or stuff, but that doesn't stop everyone from being able to like be friends and collaborate on business across the country, right? So one of the beauties is like, I've made friends within our industry from these top agents, top leaders, top producers that are in these other markets because of the culture of the company. Mm-hmm. So a couple times a year we have these big events that happen, and sometimes they're local, sometimes they're national. And so these events is a place where we actually get together in person. We learn some stuff, we talk, we mastermind, we just build these relationships. And so one of the big ones is our conference, our annual conference, eXp Con, which is, we have one coming up here shortly. So I'm excited about that. But it's just amazing. You go to these events and you see people that you talk with, over the phone, over Zoom, you see them in the trainings, and then you meet them in person. It's like they're best friends, they're best, they're part of your family. And it's an amazing feeling. And I don't think I've seen that anywhere else. And I come from a background where I worked in a corporate environment, and I was seeing people on a daily basis. And I had good friends, but we wouldn't really hang out outside of work. But going to these events, like I see these people for the first time in maybe a couple of months in person, and it's just like good friends all over again.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're in a structure where you all are making money, or at least you have the opportunity, if you're not already there yet, to actually do it. And we're not all competing with each other. We're not all just trying to, like, it's so different. Like, yeah, you can have friends in local markets, but like, it's just a different dynamic when you all are in different areas, getting your own share of the market. And there's no friction whatsoever. No one holds back. Literally, it's just sharing, collaborating. Like, if Brock has something to help someone else, it takes nothing away from him. In fact, it actually helps because he's a shareholder. So like, the more we all win, the more we all win. I mean, it's kind of a simple idea, but a lot of people, it's kind of unfortunate to see. I guess it is what it is, but there's a lot of people who kind of brush off the financial upside of what we offer. Kind of like, they'll joke. Like, it's not a joke when you're literally financially free. Like, I just tell you that. But like, if all you think is a meme or something you laugh at, I would bet you that you're not even positioning yourself in a way where you could even be on the other side of that. So the joke's on you, honestly, if that's the case. And yeah, make all the memes you want, but there's a really solid group of us that are living it.
Yeah, it's powerful too. Like, I know I opt into the agent equity program, which takes a small portion of my commission and actually buys our company stock at a discount. So it's kind of like a built-in 401k, and I love it because like, I don't even think about it. It's on autopilot. So every time I help a family buy or sell a home, a part of my commission gets put away into this 401k and buys the company stock. And it's just fun to watch it grow because like, it's something I don't even think about, and I check it maybe once a quarter now at best, and it's just interesting to see like how much it actually grows and compounds over time, especially after we're closing deal after deal, helping more families out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity. It's been a game changer for me personally. I see how it's been a game changer for you just as you've grown personally, professionally, surpassing your W-2 income, which was already like very admirable even at that point. But like, just to see an opportunity where you've been able to just level up your trajectory of growth, and we're even looking forward. I mean, we're talking about a whole next level that you're working on getting to over the course of the next year or so from here, which for a lot of people, they probably wouldn't even believe you if you told them what that looks like. But just to have that opportunity and to have the right vehicle to get there, and not even just to have the great income, but like literally be positioning yourself with more in the way of the part of the quadrant that's actually going to set you free, because income won't set you free, right? I mean, we all hear these athletes, right? There's all these athletes that make all this money. How many of them actually become free financially? Very few of them. Why? Like, they're not positioning themselves correctly. And that's all there is to it. We as agents, again, same thing. We're not positioning ourselves correctly. Vast majority of agents aren't. Very few do. But it really does help if you have the correct structure and business model to help you do that to the fullest extent.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know, like, one of the things that we all say as real estate agents to our clients is like, hey, why are you renting a house? It's much better for you to own a house, right? Like, that's what we all say. It's like, why are you throwing your money away at rent? It's 100% interest is what some people like to say as well. And so what I've come to find out from immersing myself into the business is that a lot of agents out there are renting their business from their brokers. They're paying all these franchise fees. They're paying high splits. Their cap is exorbitantly high. They're not building wealth through having all this company stock that they're acquiring from just doing real estate stuff, right? And so when you kind of take a step back and you say, hey, I'm telling my clients not to rent a house but to buy one, but then these agents are actually doing that exact same thing with their business. They're renting their business. They're paying their franchise fee on a monthly basis so that they can have a place to sit and do their business and help their clients, but they're not really investing into themselves. They're not. What I'm trying to get at is they're renting their place, and so with eXp we have the ability to take ownership into our business, not only from like a personal and professional area, but we're actually able to actually physically invest in our company because, like I mentioned, I've got the Agent Equity program. I'm pretty sure you're opted into it as well, so that's one avenue. But just from selling one, if I sell my first home of the year, I also get free company stock, so I get more ownership into the business. When I hit my cap for the year, I get company stock as well. So like I'm being provided ownership in the company for these production awards and these things that I'm doing that any agent's going to do at any brokerage out there. But eXp is saying, hey, thank you for being a productive agent and hitting these milestones. Here's some more ownership in the company. And I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we're building equity. Literally, it's something of value. Just like if you have a home where, you know, the rent's going towards equity. I mean, a lot of people think about the cash flow, but like, you know, what's building up in equity is really, you know, it can be a lot more significant with the value going up, and you know, just with economic growth, and like the same kind of principles apply to what we're building equity in as well. You know, just as we build market share, production, we're attracting some of the most productive agents in the industry. Yep. Literally top teams, top producing teams in Canada and the East Coast, like really all across the map. We're bringing on. You know, these are very smart people. You know, why would you? If you already had a successful business, why would you even uproot that and go somewhere else with it? And that's happening time and time again. And so, you know, it's not just about, you know, how we can help people get started on the right path, but, you know, also just some people that have already made it, as we would all say, just, yep, you know, they're seeing something completely different as well, to take even what they've built up to this point and expand that, and to take that to the next level, especially for the people that have been instrumental in helping them get there, because now they can give them the opportunity. They might have equity, they might have investments, but what about their people? Well, their people need the right vehicle to bring that to life for themselves, and that's exactly what this platform has to offer for us.
Yeah, it's an incredible platform, and we've only kind of just scratched the surface of some of like the opportunity on the financial side. There's so much more we could dive into, but maybe we can save that for another video. But yeah, it's just, this brokerage has changed a lot of people's lives. It's even changed mine. Like I know you mentioned like a little bit of my background, right? I had a W-2 job where I was making over 6 figures a year with, you know, bonuses and benefits and everything, and I kind of made the decision to leave that all behind for, you know, real estate. And, you know, the average real estate agent makes like, I think $45,000 to $50,000 a year, which is, you know, very scary, especially when you're making over 6 figures. But like this platform and the people I've been able to connect with, and the opportunities, all the training, all the tools, like there's so much that's provided at eXp Realty, and all of that has really like helped me like grow my business. And I know it's helped you grow your business. There's other people on our team that it's grown theirs as well. So it's just really amazing to see so many people come from one career path or, you know, background and make a change into real estate and totally change the trajectory of not only their life, but like their families' lives as well.
Absolutely. So what we want to leave them with, Brock, you know, what if any of this resonated? Like if someone wants to learn more, is there anything they can do, or do they just gotta wait to see future videos?
Yeah, I mean, you can do both, right? If you are interested, like if this, you know, sparks some curiosity, you have some questions, or you just want to know more information about eXp Realty, please reach out to either myself or Tyler. Both of our information will be down below. But please let us know you saw this video. We'd be happy to set up some time to discuss like your current business, your goals, and see if, you know, eXp is even a good fit for yourself, because it's not a good fit for everybody, right? But we want to kind of see like where you're at, where you're planning to go with your business, and see if eXp is a good complement to help you get there. So please reach out to us, you know, shoot us a text, an email, connect with us on social media. I know we're both pretty involved on there, so whatever is most convenient for you, just reach out to us so we can, you know, help and see if it's a good fit for you and answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, we're here to help, and honestly, like, we don't care one way or another what you do with it. Like, you know, we know for the right people it makes sense, and for the people that just wouldn't ever build something with it, it probably doesn't make sense. But I'll tell you this, if you're in this industry to build something more financially for yourself and your family, especially something that you can leave behind one day for the people you care most about, who maybe don't even know anything about real estate and never really care to, like, you want to help secure them in their future, and you want more control of your own time. If either of those two things are true for you, it would be financially irresponsible for you to not look at our business model and better understand how it could help you position yourself to do those two things to the fullest extent possible, because it's unlikely that in your current brokerage that you have a setup that will even allow you to build those two things. So
absolutely. And, you know, I've only been with eXp, but I've interviewed with other brokerages because I always keep an open mind, right? I'm like, if there's something better out there for myself and my business, like I want to know about it and I want to look at it. So when other, you know, brokerages try to, you know, talk to me about their business model and how it works, like I go and listen. But to be honest, I haven't found anything that's better yet than eXp's business model. So
I just keep hearing people who act like they missed the boat with us, and I think they just don't even understand the vision of where it is we're going from here. Like what you've seen up to this point is nothing compared to where it is we're going and what we're going to do next. So
absolutely.
But again, if it's not for you, hey, that's cool. No pressure. It's all love. But again, I just, I could not implore, it would be irresponsible for you to at least not understand what the opportunity looks like, so you can best assess the playing field and how you can best position yourself and for the future as you're building what you're building in the industry here. So that's all I got, man.
That's all I've got as well. So thank you all for watching the video here. If you liked it, please make sure to hit that like button, give us a thumbs up on the video, and while you're there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon as well, so that you'll be notified the next time that we push out a video for you guys. We're going to be sharing some important and valuable information that you guys don't want to miss. So thank you again for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.
We'll see y'all next time.